place at the core of it all, where the tails and the glasses are equally tall. The chances you've heard one he hasn't are slim. Welcome to Grimm's, I'm Grimm. Welcome to Grimm's, I'm him. Yeah, I'll be with you in a second. There's some other people coming in. How's it going? It's been a little while, but I know where to pick up. I'll jog your memory for you, don't worry about it. Welcome to Grimm's, I'm Grimm. We are here with episode 3 of our Ravnica-themed Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign.
No one died.
The town's here again. It's the same familiar faces. We got Chris, we got Sarah, we got Lisa, we got Mark.
Hi.
Hi. And joining those guys are a whole bunch of sponsors all over the darn place. We're just shouting those guys out.
I don't remember what corner
we can.
It'll be in one of the lower corners.
Well, they're wherever, and also their links are in that description, yes. So give them a check out, because they're great. And we've actually got a really cool sponsor, too. Want to give a shout out to Daniel Martin, who's an artist who's actually throwing together some custom character art for us and stuff. He's a D&D nerd. He's a joy to work with, doing all kinds of stuff. So if you want to check him out, go ahead and do that.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, and we can't forget that the Arcana Vault dice from last session have to be given away to the player of the game. Now, who gets these awesome, really, really cool swirly ones here? I gotta say, I think it's going to Veneer. It's going to Chris for some balls
I can't stand up because I'm trapped behind a desk.
For spitting in Gilderoy's face.
Yeah.
My precious. The same color as the stuff that comes out of my flask. That's great.
Caught on very
Oh, that's
quickly.
really cool.
Nice.
They actually have like little swirls.
Took it to the extreme.
That's actually so
But they're
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
It looks like a tavern dice. That's what I like about it.
That's awesome.
That's right. Are we getting open up a new mystery pack now?
That's the thing. I don't have any dice. Or do I? Do you? Right there. Arcana Vault. They just keep on giving. They've got these awesome mystery dice packs. So far, we've got 2 winners. Let's have a look-see.
I only hate that I can't see them. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll see them eventually.
Top them out. Ooh, I like these. Ooh. I don't know if I want to call them old parchment or bone dice.
Ooh, bone dice.
These are
Bone
sweet.
See what they do.
Oh, and they feel so awesome. For some reason, they feel
I can
different
see
than the other
them.
ones.
Like a
Oh my
matte
God.
finish or something.
Oh my god.
I can see
wanna
them.
see
I
this.
love those ones.
These ones are actually my favorite so far.
Oh my god.
I've
These
seen
are
those
so
ones on
cool.
the site. They're so cool.
That's amazing.
dice.
They're like a weathered.
Yeah.
They look like parchment almost, don't they? I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
bony kind
I'm
of.
curious how they actually make these ones.
Those will really suit my character.
They look like mushrooms. Oh my god.
They do, they look
You just
like
have to do
fungus.
really well this game.
That's right. Back to Grimm they go.
Yay.
Alright. Where did we leave off last time?
That's right. We have to do a little bit of a recap, don't we? So,
Pumped.
on our last episode, these guys were stopped by a hooded stranger and his entourage outside of the South Palm of the Myths. They were just about to get in there to go and meet with the Council of the True Pact when some unknown assailants kind of stopped and started threatening not only them, but their friends, allies, loved ones. That being said, there wasn't all that much fight in them, and something started tipping these guys off. Slowly but surely, they were acting all goofy until they eventually figured out that, it was a little bit of a test, and one that they passed with flying colors. They held their own, they stood their ground, they stayed true to their cause, they used every tool at their disposal, whether it be magic or social interaction or sheer physical bouts of violence. They even used the citizenry. So these guys did it all.
That's great.
And now we're picking up after one of the party members spat in the guy's face and the other one split his forehead open. Now they are having a lovely chat with him as they're heading towards the Chamber of the True Pact, where they're going to meet the people that have chosen them since they passed the test.
Cool.
All right, I have a little bit of an OCD thing where I gotta set these up just the right way. It makes the dice roll better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Everyone
horrible
knows you
for
gotta
us.
place
Set
them
them up
right.
badly, so they roll quick fails.
Yeah.
See, we want them to be bad because then just give them to Mark. That'd be great.
That's right.
They'll be good for me.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have calmed things down. The people that were hired by Gilderoy have since been paid and dismissed. They're going their separate ways. They've made some money for their troubles, and the comings and goings at the market outside of the Golgari-controlled Finger of the Myths, it resumes. A lot of them are talking to their customers about what happened. A lot of people are actually coming and doing business just to hear rumors from them. So whatever disturbance you guys might have caused, you guys have kind of paid that back passively without even having to be there.
Nice.
As you guys hop onto the cart, driven by Andavarius, who just gives the punk to
Annabelle does most of the work.
Yes, Annabelle does most of it. One might say like all. But
Might,
yes.
if you want to be picky about it.
Annabelle starts chugging away, and there are roads that go through this place. They're not like hallways in an apartment building like we would have, but this place actually takes up 10 cramped city blocks of space roughly, and that's just how tall it is, and the fingers are actually as wide as that. This is a town unto itself, this place that you're in. And as you come into this area, you haven't quite reached the Golgari zone, but you can see it in the distance. Along with, as you look further and further down, all these pillars and places and shops and hovels and places where people live, but you can see that at the entrance to each of the fingers from the palms is a associated guild gate.
Nice.
It's as if it's guild-controlled territory. So you can see the Golgari guild gate there with the scarab kind of above it, and you can see all of the stuff going on the inside. It smells awful. Well, to you it smells terrific, but you guys hate it here. That being said, as you guys kind of take a little bit of a turn, you move away from the Golgari kind of gardens on the surface layer. At least they don't have a rot farm here. And their neighbor is the Selesnians. Here it's very, very nice, prim, proper. This is nature at its finest, almost artificially so, but all just given so much attention and love. It smells good to you guys. To you, this seems like a poorly made scented candle, almost like someone tried to get nature and screwed it up. But yeah, to each their own. You guys actually pull Annabelle onto this large kind of lily pad, and as that goes on, with a mana prod from someone who's operating it, a Selesnian kind of guild member who lives there, it kind of brings its way up from the floor, where they kind of shovel some rich nutrients down onto its root system as it kind of flexes its way up and brings you up a few floors until you are on a floor that is teeming with people. Now, the other ones had a lot of people walking around as well, but they were moseying about. Civilians, they're people who lived here. This is where their homes are. This is where they buy their groceries. On this floor, however, these are pages, they're aides, they're running back and forth with messages, and they're couriers all going back and forth, running this large operation out of this whole series of very organized rooms. And the people that you see coming into and coming out of these rooms, being given all these different things by these people running around, serving at their beck and call, they're dressed like you guys are. That is to say, very oddly. There's a whole kaleidoscope of colors and fashions, and some of them are wearing living clothes. Other ones, no, not so much. It's
Any nudists?
It's normal, I guess.
Okay.
What's that?
Any nudists?
Lesbian nudist.
No nudists,
Oh, okay.
actually.
The bugbears.
But yeah, so you guys are looking out at all of these different people who must be associated with one guild or another. In fact, some of you guys who have been in this community longer than others, you've heard of some of these people based on their unique outfits or some kind of little addition or trademark item that they have on their person. These are all members of former guild packs, is what they're called.
Ah.
They're
Like heroes.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like trading cards for little kids.
A lot of these guys not only go out and adventure in the wider world, but they do kind of come back into the midst for some special events that are held between the Gruul-controlled finger and the Rakdos one. The Gruul one is rubble in the center, and it's a big kind of arena where you can fight and throw spells and destroy shit because it's already broken. They can't take care of it. And the Rakdos one is this big kind of arena seating that people can kind of watch it all. The people in this community love watching these people fight other guild packs and see how they work together, see what their weaknesses are, how they complement each other. It's a whole big exercise for this place. You guys see some of the people who came before you, and now you guys are actually getting the feeling as you guys walk down the hall and the way that they look at you after they look at Gilderoy, who is walking, who's having to walk alongside the beetle. They look at him and he just kind of gives them a curt nod, and as soon as he gives that nod, they just get their thumbs up. They give a hand up to you. They're welcoming some of their own.
Nice.
Oh.
This feels about right.
Well, this isn't so bad, I guess.
Yeah, community
nice.
service, right? Slavery, whatever.
Yeah, so you guys are pulled along this crowd that's kind of paying their respects to you until you get into the middle of that southern palm, and there is this large chamber behind there, covered by these two huge kind of gilded doors, and there are 5 guild symbols on one of the door and 5 on the other, forming this circle that show all 10 guilds of Ravnica harmoniously kind of together. And as soon as they approach, Gilderoy looks to the bunch of you, and he just kind of motions over to some little stable boys, things like that, who kind of ride up and go and grab Annabelle by the reins and kind of give her some mushrooms and some food and stuff like that. They go to take her away from you, and he kind of expects you guys to all dismount.
Whoa.
Jumper.
Where are you taking her?
She'll be taken care of, don't you worry. We've got facilities. Maybe not necessarily for a Dagbridge Goliath. They're not typical fare, but we'll see that she's taken care of.
Make sure that you do. She likes the red mushrooms. And scratch her back sometimes. She likes that.
If you can't tell, he's single, so maybe we should just let the beetle go, right?
You say that to Gilderoy, who keeps a very professionally blank face. But one of the guys who's looking at the beetle goes, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'll scratch the shell. He's looking at his buddy like, yeah, the red mushrooms.
Oh.
Hey, give her what she wants. Don't worry. So he kind of gives them a stern looking to, and they're like, yeah. They take her and kind of lead her towards the stables. They'll take care of her because they're probably gonna be punished if they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, by me.
By many people.
Now that that's taken care of, I think I can formally bring you into the chamber of the true pact. Now, some of you may have entered here previously as children, and then once you came of age and reached puberty for mock Ravnicas. But now, this is no mere ceremony. This place is going to be your headquarters, your offices. This is where I will be, should you need me. Open her up to him! He snaps his fingers with this magical, like, bang! And the kind of thunderous boom, and with it, it goes whoosh, and starts pulling open these doors. And when the doors come in, you see that room that you've seen before in a completely different light. Normally when you're brought in there, if you were raised here, it's just as little kids undergoing these little play things where each person represents a different guild, and you know what you're strong at, you know what you're weak at, and then you decide what you want to do. Most kids just devolve into screwing each other over and seeing who's the best, until Gilderoy, as the guild pact, shuts it down, gives them a good boxing around the ears and goes, no, you lose, that's not how it works. And then there's a teenage version, but this time you've earned the right to be here. And you can see that there are people waiting. People that you've seen in glimpses before. 4 of them sitting at a long table across from you. All right, Gilderoy walks, goes around the table, and sits in the middle chair and motions to you, come on in. I think we should have enough here to satisfy any of your desires as far as food and drink. Please, please. No need to be nervous. Come on now.
Yeah, it's great. I'm gonna take some booze and start topping up my flask if there's any drink around. I don't care if it mixes with whatever was in there before.
Help yourself. Beeline to the booze. You start filling a flask and not even a cup at the table.
But once the flask is full, I can't put away, and then I'll fill up a cup.
Nice. Yeah, all right. You do it, and hey, when you said it was all yours, it is. So, no big deal there. Awesome, you fill up your flask. What do you guys want to do?
I'm gonna ritual cast some detect poison and disease.
Okay, now ritual casting makes it so that the thing takes 10 times as long.
It takes 10 minutes.
That being said, you're not in any real rush. There's no crunch here. That really only happens when you need to get it exact under pressured circumstances. So when you look around this place, you just kind of do a version that happens no time flat. And as you do it, the whole thing seems clean, almost magically protected from it.
Well, 30
With
feet
one
within
exception.
me.
What's that?
Yeah, within 30 feet of me.
Yeah, so within 30 feet of you, this, you
As I'm
realize
scanning the food.
how enchanted this room is. For the way that it looks, with how plain and utilitarian and how very within budget it is. They don't seem to be spending a lot of their money on excess just for the sake of the look. You can feel quite a few layers of protection against poisons, diseases, and that's just what you sense there. With one person kind of glowing very, very brightly across from where you are probably meant to sit. Oh, no, I mean, across.
No.
I'm pointing at Sarah.
What's happened to me?
Oh, dear.
There is a person that is most definitely Golgari, because at first you're like, well, we're the only ones who wear mushroom clothes. And then as you approach, you go, but his clothes is diseased? It's poisonous? What? And as you kind of realize it, this guy's not really wearing clothes so much as the clothes are fused with him. And his entire body is coursing. You can almost see his unmoving, unpumping circulatory system just filled with venoms and caustic, toxic substances of all sorts and types.
Sounds gross.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you shut that off to see this guy properly, you can see a Dev Kareen, who normally lived for quite a long time, and this guy seems like he's been dead and kept on trucking for quite a long time at that. He's kind of stooped over with little mushroom stalks replacing some of the tendons in his neck to kind of prop his head up, facing you. He's not touching any of the food in front of him. He has no need to eat anymore, really. But he kind of... And every time he breathes out, just these spores kind of emanate from him. It kind of drifts off of him as he sits there and just motions to the seat across from him as he looks at you. Well, one eye looks at you. The other one is
sit in the seat.
That guy doesn't seem to be in great health as I'm drinking.
Yeah, okay, I'll go reluctantly just sit in the chair and just keep eyeing him up.
Nice. So, in the silence that fills this room after he goes, "Don't be shy, come on in." Glug, 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 glug. As you pull out a chair.
Then
Okay, what do you guys do?
with the silence, I'm gonna run over to the little chair. And
Yeah.
is it one of the swivel chairs?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is one of the ones that you actually found
I'm good.
in your grandma and grandma's workshop.
I'm gonna jump on it and then just spin around going.
Yeah, it is like a cushion on a corkscrew, and as you go and spin around, it goes and rises you up until you stop yourself, and just smiling as much as her damaged face will allow is someone who kind of reminds you of you a little bit. She has this small form, and she's got burns just like you do. She's got some of that red hair, and she's got a Mizium rig on. Yeah.
Nice.
having
my
grown up in
God.
the area, you know that she's actually the head researcher at the labs here in the Is It Finger of the Mitts. Awesome.
I'll just be like staring at her in awe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab some wine and a little plate of food, and then I'm going to look for the person I assume to be my my guild person.
So you throw some stuff on, you're standing there like, where do I fit in? One empty chair, and across from that seat, you see this kind of salt and pepper haired, well-trimmed, handsome man with just this lean acrobat's body. And somehow he's wearing such revealing clothing, but it doesn't feel out of place because you're like, I mean, who wouldn't want to see it?
Oh my
As he's
god.
just like lounging
Thank you.
again, uncomfortably, and yet he's pulling it off, and it doesn't look like he's uncomfortable. Looks like that's how you're supposed to sit. It's just that everyone falls short.
Oh
He
my
just-
god, this day gets better and better.
Yeah, so that's the spot where you can sit down. And as each of you guys take your places, Gilderoy speaks up and goes, all right, so, it's about time you were formally introduced to the council members who have, after a great deal of surveillance and quite a lot of consideration, chosen you out of all of the people that are under our watch here at the Mitts to represent their guild and our community as a whole. At the far end over there, we have Isabel. She is the head researcher of the Is It here. Right here, we have Gregory. He is in charge of the Golgari Swarm within the Mitts. Over here, we have Dimitri. You're filling your stuff, and it almost went like unnoticed and unsaid.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with this thing that's just like a cloaked outline of a humanoid.
Yeah.
Just kind of sitting there, the head tilted ever so slightly before it rights itself, and it's just kind of looking at you the whole time.
Oh, and I'm just gonna shotgun my drink and then fill it back up to top up and then go sit back down.
Nice. Thus, as Dimitri, he is in charge of our Demir
Hey.
operatives. And then we have Ramos. Ramos as the lead acrobat. He's our troop leader for the Rakdos living here. Now, as I said, I am Gilderoy. I am in charge of the guildless here. And the guildless make up quite a sizable number of the people in this community. Ultimately, though it may shock you to hear it, the guildless have the run of the place when they want it. So, I'm going to be the one that you'll be working very closely with during your trial period. That being said, you've done fantastically for your first trial. I know there were some hiccups, particularly on my side of things, but hopefully you can forgive me, and we
I'll
can
just be
smooth
waving my dagger at him.
we can smooth this all over. Hopefully you'll give me the chance at another impression that will sit right with you. So,
Oh yeah, I forgive you for knocking me out.
oh yeah, sorry, I was looking at the one who stabbed me. I should have been saying sorry to you. I apologise.
Thank you.
Now, these 4 members here, they're busy people, and they work with the people who have actually been truly inducted into the wider guilds of the wider world, out in the 10th district. So they don't have much time to spend on you lot until you've actually developed well enough that you can be accepted into the guilds proper. Though we are going to give you a chance to speak with them presently, and then we can get back to me to kind of go over any kind of equipment you may need, housing arrangements, missions that you may undertake. Does that sound all right with all of you?
This sounds great. Yeah.
Sounds good to
Yeah,
me.
it sounds good. Yeah.
Perfect. I will busy myself here while you have your chats with these lovely people. And he kind of starts digging in, and
I think mine's gone bad.
Gregory just... So, do you have any questions?
How are you still alive? There's so much
Interesting.
poison and disease just coursing through your every being.
Well, you've partially answered your own query. I'm not surprised. Yeah, if I were living, I would die. Such is the fate of the Golgari. Life, death, is there a line? How thin is it? Is it much of a difference? To debate, I'm a corpse. I'm talking to you.
Right. Does that make you an undead?
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna pull my shirt up over my nose.
Is he like a cyborg?
It's a mushroom cyborg.
Yeah. That's so
Systems
cool.
of like mushrooms and like mosses are holding his muscular like
So,
tissues
So it's
together.
the funguses that are keeping you alive?
Not so much. That's actually an infection. It's kind of gotten out of hand.
Sorry.
Yeah, very bad case of a foot fungus, and it's just it's all
Here, let me
over.
take a look.
I'm gonna move my plate away from the general direction he's in.
Let me see what you got down there.
I would rather not.
I'm actually a bit of a collector of mushrooms and funguses and spores, and you are quite fascinating. Would you mind if I even took a little sample?
Very well.
How do you get that fat? I've seen so many ladies that won't give me the time of day, and you come in and some dead guy's giving you his fungus.
But he actually has something to teach me.
Yeah, so
I'm going to open up a little jar.
I think some women would have something to teach him
pulls
too.
like this black
Absolutely.
rotten like bit of stringiness that
Yeah.
has like verdant green moss growing across it, and just
Nice. Just drop it in there. Careful. Yes, that's a good one.
it
Oh
is.
dear.
Be careful with that. Now, to business, if there is in fact any. Do you have any questions for me while I'm here?
How did you get to be this way? I know I'm supposed to be asking about the guild and all that, but
You ask whatever you feel you want to. I got this way after a great deal of time in study. Arcane lore gathered from dark corners in the Undercity. And yeah, I had some people just straight up tell me to. I wish I had found them first. Yeah, but
they told you to?
oh, there are some people, underrealm liches, necrosages. We have different forms of prolonging unlife. This is one of them. It suffices. The body is useless, but the mind remains. It is magic that sustains me, not fungus.
Doesn't seem so useless. You get about, don't you?
Aye, so long as I provide something to this community, I stick around. Yeah, as he like
That's strong.
pours onto
Even
the
for
plate
me.
in front of him and it just
I feel like this guy would be really bad at dodgeball. It's just the impression I get.
It's probably a little rude, but for my academics, how old exactly are you?
I am going on 1,200 years now.
1,200 years.
Goodness.
And how long have you been?
This is a more recent event. I have been leading the Golgari community here since there's been one, since the finger was formally given over to the guild. That would be some 100 years now.
Dead for Look at you.
I do what I can. Lotions, mostly.
It's good, you can tell.
Guys,
It's really great.
You are
Like,
positively glowing.
Really, yeah.
Yes, that would be this one. And he like points and it goes, yeah. And it like glows in this like headband of mushrooms that kind of come out there. So it's almost like a headlamp that he's got.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I'm just gonna draw him in my little sketchbook as I'm taking these notes of years. Mushrooms.
He gets his glowing headband.
Side forward.
Please don't move.
Other side forward.
Oh, they're both bad.
You can see his like teeth through the hole in his cheek. One of his teeth isn't a tooth. It's like a mushroom that's growing upside down. It's utterly useless as a tooth for grinding anything.
Hey, he's not eating anything.
Yeah.
Draw him like one of your French girls.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep drawing him.
So it's more of a botanical interest than one in his actual personhood. You're just like, oh my god.
Exactly.
Nice. All right, cool. So we move from the conversation between this living, sentient pile of molds and Avarius to who else is feeling like they want to get some questions in.
It doesn't matter.
I'll go first.
All right. Veneer, you've filled your flask, chugged the flask, filled the flask, and filled the cup.
Yep.
And now you're sipping like
Now
a
I'm
gentleman at the cup.
Now I'm comfortable.
Yeah,
Is he
sitting.
drunk?
After smashing back a flask, it's only been a couple minutes. He will be. Give
Right.
it a few, and by the end of this meeting, he'll be stumbling out.
Yep.
The robes are there. Magical darkness prevents any light from illuminating his features.
Hi.
Something speaks directly into your head.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Hello?
So, this is it, eh? Made it to the big time.
Have made it part way anyway. Yes?
Look, I know, we are typically a little bit, secretive, maybe, if you want to be honest. What exactly is my position here with these guys? Is it just as straightforward as it sounds? Is there something, maybe another layer behind what we're being told, maybe?
As straightforward as it sounds.
Okay.
Yours is an important... Oh, I was going for the Russian one and went straight to Scottish.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm just going to change it completely.
Do it.
Yours is an important task, though it may be simple in theory, at least to describe. You're the one who gives this group direction. You're the one that gives them focus.
I'm the leader, is what you're saying. I'm in charge.
You
You said it. You already said it.
can be the leader. A leader is whoever can make the right decision based on good information. If you're the only one with good information, then you're the only one who's capable of properly leading things, aren't you?
I suppose that's probably true, although the good decision part is questionable. Yeah. But you picked me for a reason. I suppose it says something. Now, is there anything that I should know? A little bit of advice or something about, I don't know, whatever it is we're going to be doing here. Something that maybe should, give me the leg up or something.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you the same piece of advice that I've given every person that I've chosen before. And that is that you are to serve the actual purpose of the Dimir, not that of the bastardized guild that it's turned into in the wider world. They are secretive, manipulative, for its own sake. No one knows anything, not even they do, from agent to agent. You are not a liar. You're not a deceiver. To some, perhaps, not to them. You are the thing that deploys them to the best of their ability. They have strengths, but they can't bring them to bear without you. That is what your job is. That's what you're doing. Do you understand?
Think so. So I get the information, make the group stronger. but don't become a lying idiot about things the way that I thought we were supposed to be.
Deception can be a useful tool, useful in the gathering of information. But you deceive your enemies. You do not deceive your friends,
Right.
your allies, your teammates. You deceive when it is appropriate to. You have a brain in your skull. As addled as it is, I expect you to use it.
Right, you got it.
Normally, Veneer,
Yeah.
I give this opportunity to people who are above average in terms of their performance,
Thank you.
their attitude.
Thank you.
No. You need to listen to the rest.
Right.
I'm choosing you to give you that opportunity to get there. I am gambling on you because some of the information I've gathered on you would suggest that the odds are favorable from turning you into a scumbag into potentially one of the greatest people that this community has ever seen. One of its greatest heroes in a hall of heroes.
Sounds a little bit better than scumbag. Yeah. All right. If you need anything from me, can you get in touch with me? I'm assuming the way you need to.
If I need anything from you,
Yeah. Like, just be honest with me. I'm taking orders from that other guy, basically. And you two work together. It's not like some weird thing where like you're pulling me one way, he's pulling me the other kind of thing.
no.
All right.
You fall quite strictly under his tutelage
Okay.
for now, until you've proven yourselves worthy. I am still beholden to the actual Demir, to the actual necro-sages that run the day-to-day operations of it throughout the 10th district and beyond. You have to be accepted by them, in addition to myself, before we will work more closely together.
Right. I'll give him a little nod and take a sip and kind of. That's all I really need from him. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, and yes, the whole time, by the way, Dimitri doesn't seem to move at all. Like there are no physical tells that he's engaging in a conversation. You're not as used to it, so you're like, your lips are moving, but you're
Yeah.
gesticulating as if you're having a conversation.
Hey, you okay?
Yeah, this is great.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still drawing the beautiful man.
Is he like laying? Like,
Oh, that's a different beautiful man. But yeah, Ramos is kind of spread out before you. But he kind of looks at you, looks at your plate, and grabs the same things from the table that you've grabbed on your plate.
I'll just kind of like sit like how he is, just kind of like eat my apple.
You try to copy his kind of pose, his relaxed pose. He eats the same things that you've selected, and at the end of it, he goes, "You have good taste. This pleases me."
Good.
So, if you have questions, now's the time. You have my attention.
Why did you choose me? I have been waiting.
You have the smile of a person who may know why I chose you. You're beautiful. And you move with such surety. It's entrancing, intoxicating. I've seen a great many things in my lifetime. And I want more. So, I chose you. Simple as that.
Sounds about right.
No. If you don't want to continue to question my taste, do you have anything that you're curious about?
What did you do in the Rakdos? Are you a performer?
That I am. I am a performer. Still, this body hasn't let me down as of yet, though it's getting there.
It does not look like it has.
I am amazing.
Oh, dang.
Yes,
That
you
being
are.
said, the clock ticks. The sand. It continues to fall. This body will not last much longer, but it is daring nonetheless to continue to push it as I always have. So, I am a performer. Short and simple, and I am the best one here. So, I am the de facto leader.
I see. So you were an acrobat?
Oh, I'm a great many things. I perform in every sense of the word. I was an acrobat, I am an artist, I am a musician. I do a great many things, and I've perfected near all of them. That being said, as soon as you've seen perfection, as soon as you've even laid so much as a finger on it, all of a sudden you realize you can push that little bit harder. You realize you can try it from a different way, and it's a difficult lot to be this good, really.
I imagine it is.
But that is what we truly stand for. I mean, it's the striving for perfection. It is constantly looking to push the boundaries, even in the face of infinite darkness and meaninglessness.
Of course. Okay, I have another question for you.
Oh, very well. Shoot.
It took me some time to get into the myths, and once I got in there, I received a very nice gift in my apartment for me.
Mystery. That's something more for the Demir, don't you think?
I'm not sure. It looks like this. And I will show him my rapier bow.
I've seen its like before, though not for some time. That is an interesting instrument you have in your hands, little lady.
Indeed it is. It was quite a surprise.
You may have to take a trip in order to find who owned that little beauty.
Oh,
Down to Riksmadi, perhaps?
where?
Riksmadi, the dungeon palace, the seat of Arachdos himself, really.
Oh,
Like a scary trip.
it sounds like a fun trip.
Head north from here, and go up into the southern section of the smelting ward. You'll find the Gore House.
Boop boop boop, you've unlocked a side quest.
So,
The whorehouse.
Gore House.
Alright.
I'm slightly less interested now, but that's alright.
Slightly more.
Now, I should warn you that while their entertainment there is absolutely enthralling and delightful, it is extreme to say the least. And you may enjoy yourself, but only briefly, and then you may expire. So, I wouldn't take a trip that way lightly, dear.
Right?
Anything else?
That is all for now. Thank you.
No problem. Want to try a little bit of this? And he kind of like pokes at something else on the table and throws it into his mouth. Like, interesting. So you and he just kind of, just exchange faces across the table a little bit. Having
Just do it already.
having interestingly, like, I don't know what the word to describe it is. You're just,
Sensual.
yeah, it's almost like a you know,
We'll be feeding each other.
throwing stuff across, and you're two people who can catch it, so you're just like, oh my god. Yeah. Then we cross over to the other side of the table, where you can see that what started off as like a throwing it back and forth, they start deliberately throwing it like a couple feet outside of the chair so that they can like lean over the railing of their chair and keep their balance with their legs out as it teeters on a leg to
Oh
like.
my god.
Oh, just get it over with already.
Those two guys are having a blast.
So
Veneer is
good.
having a conversation with no one, and he's drawing.
Yay!
I have a strawberry.
I'm going to
Nice.
I'm going to get off my chair and go over to Izzy. And is Gilderoy like nearby Izzy, or
Yeah, Gilderoy
he's
is
like on the end, isn't he? By
yeah.
me?
Is it? Isabel is on the far end of the table. Then it's Grigory. Then we have Gilderoy sitting.
Oh,
in the
okay. I'm just gonna talk to Izzy then. kind of just get up and like whisper to her.
Yes, darling.
So why did you choose me?
That's actually a rather simple question, really. I chose you because you are determined. You're a stubborn little thing, and I love it. So I figured you had a couple shots with a couple other groups.
5 failed missions, yeah.
Yes, and don't feel so bad about it all. Don't feel ashamed or stupid, because really, the fact is that you stood back up. And that's worth everything to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking for a certain kind of person, really. I feel like the Warrior Guild has devolved. It's lost its purpose. It's erratic. It's nonsensical. It's looking to impress a dragon's ennui.
Yeah, I always thought that was a bit weird.
It's stupidity masked as scholarship. I feel like you are the kind of person who actually has the fire and the passion to push through in the face of complexity, in the face of frustration, to rise above it and actually develop something safely, securely, something that can be used for the good of all people, magical or not.
Good.
You just seem like the right fit.
Well, good. Glad that finally, hopefully, have a team that will like me and will allow me to stay with them for longer than a day. Especially with today, I feel like me being knocked out twice. It wasn't a good introduction with like the two of them. Like Vinny saved me, but I won't say about that. Like it's okay, but yeah.
I'm going to tell you something right now, Tallulah, that I didn't pull myself out of the fire that did this to me.
And she's pretty badly burned on almost all of her exposed body. The rest of it is covered in like leather gloves, and she's got this like insulated suit, but her Mysium rig is one, entirely made of Mysium, and two, it actually extends in these wire frames that kind of go out, and you can see that they actually go through holes cut into her clothes. Like her clothes are buttoned on, and it kind of goes through and probably connects to her bones or something. Yeah. She has no more hair. It's just these Mysium tubes that kind of stick directly into her scalp, almost looking like dreadlocks. Mm-hmm. So she's been through some stuff too, and she's still kicking.
Yeah.
So
she had a friend that pulled her out of that.
I did. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I mean, you just gotta stick with it. And the fact that you're standing here, that means that you did.
Yeah, Gilderoy knocked me out, but I was still okay.
Yeah.
He maybe like when he's doing initiations to just lay down a little bit, just a touch, because the last thing I saw was just me flying backwards.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun.
No,
It's great.
I imagine it wasn't, but I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get him to calm
Because
down a little
you
bit.
understand, we're both little. Like that stuff, it hits us harder.
Oh, I'm a full-size lady.
She's just old and like bent.
Oh.
So she is little. She's on a small chair.
Once the posture changes, it's a little different.
It's a compliment to be little. It's a compliment.
I suppose. I mean, I guess the fact that we're not physically imposing and yet still recognized by others and respected means that we have something more significant to offer on the intellectual side of things.
Exactly.
So, I guess in a way it can be a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So, got any questions for me about anything coming up?
Well, what sort of things are you gonna send us on? Or like, is that more Gilderoy's?
That's not for me to say, really. Not now, anyway. You're still, learning. You're not formally inducted yet, so... Yeah, I'll be able to see you when you kind of grow up a little bit, and once you make it into the guild itself, I'll be here to welcome you, and we can work together.
Wonderful. That'd be great. Okay.
All right. Great.
Feel better. That's good.
So, as you kind of finish up your conversation and you guys have kind of gotten most of your questions out of the way, it kind of devolves into a little bit of small talk. And these are people who can't necessarily afford to have just small talk. So once you've all gotten a little bit of FaceTime in, Gilderoy kind of cleans off his face and goes, all right, these fine folks here are now going to go on their own paths and continue their duties. They still have some hours in the day to work with. So you are all dismissed. Thank you for your time. And so the bunch of them kind of get up. Gregory kind of gets up, and you can see that most of it is like expanding, like inflating, deflating mushrooms that are kind of puppeting him. And you can see that really it's just a whole bunch of roots that are sticking out of the soles of his feet that are kind of like kind of crawling him around.
Like a weekend at Bernie's.
1,200 years old and still taking orders. That's amazing.
Isabel is in a little bit of the same boat, except instead of biologically being assisted, hers is with her kind of custom Mizium rig, where you can see the kind of crackles of thoughts as they enter her mind and go back into the rest of her rig, and just kind of steam and electricity is kind of popping off of her voltaic charges and her kind of pneumatic pumps and things that operate the legs, all kinds of different technologies at work there, as she just kind of lifts herself up out of her chair and she's kind of, her body is just like in like a springed harness as the Mizium rig kind of does most of the work and puppets her out. Dimitri just seems to glide with his trench coat pretty much going down to the floor. He just
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
kind of moves out without much of an acknowledgement to damn near anyone. And probably more impressive than that is when Ramos kind of gets up and also seems to glide. But you can see his legs. It's weird. He's like moonwalking forwards. He's like, it's the weirdest thing.
He has a book on his head.
He's like done something strange with his cape, and you're like, oh, well, and you spend a little while like taking it in. He's like, yeah, I do that. Just out he goes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, just
was
muscles
incredible.
flexed as he just works those hips and sways his way out the doors.
I'm just gonna watch his tight butt go out that door.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he works it, and he knows he's got people's attention. The doors are going to close. One half is moving, and the other half is like. And then the doors close, the larger ones anyway. And with that, it's just a bunch of you guys and Gilderoy.
Finally start making a plate. Let's make maybe some aged meat.
Awesome.
There.
So you guys kind of have your meal. Are there any questions that you guys have for Gilderoy? He's kind of waiting for you, but if you don't, he'll kind of fill that gap.
So, any more initiations? Initiations, sorry, talking with...
Well, not
Is it-
like the ones you've already experienced. We're not going to repeat that again. That's unnecessary at this
Yeah.
point. You've already proven that you've got the mettle, that you're willing and able to serve your community at personal cost and personal risk, which is what we're looking for. We need people of substance, brave souls like yourselves. That being said, bravery alone is not going to get you through this, through the trials ahead, through the actual missions that we are going to have you undertake. They are far-ranging both in scope and in terms of distance away from friendly faces. So you will have to prepare yourselves to undertake these. I can inform you as to tasks that potentially you could solve for us. I have a few different options that you could maybe tackle.
Well,
Yeah.
we haven't exactly said if we're on board with this yet.
Oh, I think we all
Yeah,
are.
we're definitely on board.
I'm 100% on board.
We are on board.
Okay, what's the mission?
So these guys chime in. You taken orders from your mom the whole time. The two ladies speak, like when Veneer said, "Oh yeah, we're doing this," you're like, "Oh, whatever." You see a little bit of your dad in him, like, "Eh." And then your mom kind of speaks to you in their tone through them. You're like, "Okay, I guess I'm doing this." So he goes, "All right, since you've all agreed to hold out on this for a little longer,
No discussion.
That's right.
if you do want to discuss this, Andavarius, we've actually spoken to your mother about you being here. We don't pry people away from their families without their say-so and their knowledge. So, you can have that talk with her if you'd like. I already have, and I don't plan on doing it again."
Yeah, she seemed pretty excited about me going.
Yes, and that's not the kind of person you stand in the way of, I don't think.
Oh, you're right there.
So, see it this way. I mean, you've been benefiting, whether you knew it or not, your whole life, and you haven't exactly been paying your due, because this was more or less expected of you.
Right.
This was more or less expected of you. It was a potential avenue for your future. So, yeah, now you're paying that debt back, more or less. You're coming out even on this little arrangement, all right?
Yeah, as long as you're done attacking us for no good reason.
I'm done with that, yes.
Then what is the mission statement? What are we doing?
Very good. There are two kinds of enemies that we need gone. There are those that come out at night, and there are the worst ones that come out during the day. The ones that come out at night, they are past their vermin. They make it so that we need to shut our operation down far earlier than we would like. Not only that, they damage our property, they pull people away every once in a while, they steal things from us. It's not good, to be sure. But they're simple and easy to deal with. The other ones, they're a bit trickier. They take the form of Azorius Arresters, Boros Enforcers, the Wojek. We have the guards for the 10th District and the 6th Precinct that don't work for us. All of them want our influence reduced. They're the ones that step on our toes quite a bit. They can't be met with open physical hostility. However, we need to dance a wee dance for them to keep them from bringing their full weight to bear. So, there are two main areas that we could use your help on. Which do you lot think that you could handle best?
I think we could handle either one of them.
I agree. Which one's easier again? The
Which one's
ninth?
less lethal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are two very different questions. Easier could be said in the simplicity of killing a foe that you know is there to kill you. Lethal, well, if you have the wrong kind of conversation with one of these Azorius lads, they can come back and shut down huge sections of our economy. That makes people starve. That's lethal in its own way.
They do that
The creatures that come out at night, well,
very well. Yes.
yeah, they only grab the unfortunate more often than not. The people that come out on the day, well, they can hurt us by the hundreds or the thousands.
Well, what do you guys think?
I think you've got some good talkers.
They both seem pretty ambiguous. I don't know
Yeah.
where to go, what we face exactly. So it's pretty hard to decide.
It is left up to your discretion on purpose. You are a newly formed guild pack. You are supposed to become familiar with each other, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, what you can and can't handle. It's ambiguous because ultimately the people who know you best is you. So I'm not going to force you down a strict path. And
Is there any kind of training? I mean, I was farming mushrooms not 6 hours ago.
You also...
And now I'm supposed to be telling the Azorius how to do their business.
Thinking about it a little bit too much.
Yeah.
You see,
Did I get a badge?
we were chosen for a reason, right? I mean, we
It's
were
like I
probably
hit real
chosen.
good with a stick.
Yeah, you see, we were probably chosen because we're quite good at what we do. You probably got chosen because of your mum, but
No arguments here.
still here for a reason, right?
You must have some kind of amazing skills.
Yeah, his mum.
Besides your mom, I saw you do that cool thing with your staff where you make it all hard.
Yeah, I have been practicing that one a lot. Quite good at it now.
That's nothing.
I can do this too, and turn into a big wolf spider.
Oh my god! Whoa!
Yeah, it's way more impressive. It's way more impressive than the mum thing.
Cool.
And I turn back.
I can like pet you.
I'm back when you're petting me.
Well then.
So that's pretty cool.
You got big muscles too.
You were a farmer and a various, but I don't think this community can afford to throw your talents away. You can bend the rules of reality as you please. I think you probably should have seen this coming. Something more than mushrooms.
There's nothing more than mushrooms. We'll all be mushrooms in the end.
I don't want to be a mushroom.
Alright, I'm gonna flip a coin.
That
Yeah.
seems completely irresponsible.
Oh,
Why?
does it seem completely irresponsible?
It does, that's why I'm saying it.
Well, let me explain something to you. How about this? If we got option A and option B and they're both great options and they both got to be handled, the only thing that we're doing is wasting time by picking one, right? If this takes away the element of time and we solve one problem or the other, which needs to be done anay,
Why are you talking like Gilderoy?
He's making fun of him. He does it to me a lot.
making fun of Gilderoy, you're ruining the moment, right? Then all I'm oh, I lost it. All we're doing is taking away time, right? We got to pick one or the other.
Yes, you do have to pick one or the other because we do expect you to do something for us. That being said, I'm not gonna force you to do both. You're not choosing which one you're doing first and which one you're doing second. If there's something that doesn't work, you're not doing it. Just do it. Just do it.
I think after.
Alright, so we're gonna go and try to be diplomatic about things.
Yeah. I think after you knocking me out, I need to have a little sleep.
Yeah, I feel like we already really got a bit of the workout with the fighting and everything, right? So maybe we should take an approach that's a little bit different, try to talk to somebody. That seemed to work out pretty well.
Yeah, you should have listened to
alright.
me.
Well,
I wanted to talk to you at the start, and then you just wanted to threaten us.
Yeah, it's true.
That wasn't.
I wanted to
part
cut
that I
off
was
your
playing.
fingers.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, what?
What?
All right.
Eddie, look.
I
how about
actually
we-
have stuff that I need to do too. They are important people. So am I. Believe it or not. So I'm going to have you lot out of this room. You can sleep on it. Talk amongst yourselves. See what you want to do. I'm going to get some sleep. Or I guess I got to work some more. So he kind of pushes back from the table and goes, you lot figure it out. All right? You do whatever you feel most comfortable with.
what time of day is it about?
At this point, it's getting to be around like 3:30, 4.
We got some time to get home before
Alright, it's
dark?
great. You go relax, take care of yourself. We're gonna take care of our business here and we'll see you in the morning.
All right.
Great.
Just
Lovely, great, have a good time.
very good.
Alright, look, so
Yeah.
how about
he's-
we just sleep on it and we can talk to him tomorrow, eh?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, alright.
Okay then.
I need to sleep after today.
All right. So he wants to be out of this room and kind of be done with it, but as he's walking to the door that leads him up to his chambers, he kind of turns back and goes, all right, one more thing. You've been given rooms, lodging, here within the midst, close to my offices here. We've got people who can go and fetch things for you if you need them. You've also got a small amount of funds dedicated to yourselves that you can use for purchasing goods that you're doing on behalf of the community. So,
How much funds?
well, really, it's within reason. We do want you to succeed. we're not pinching pennies, but know that we are told what people are buying.
Good.
Aye,
Okay.
they better be appropriate mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're the most appropriate mushrooms you've ever seen.
All right, so Gilderoy kind of opens a side door and walks out of the room, leaving you guys in this kind of empty chamber of the True Pact, with the exception of yourselves and the two people who operate the main doors.
The exception.
There are two guards who operate the doors.
Oh, anyone know what the mission is exactly?
We didn't choose one.
Yeah, we did.
Diplomatic?
Well, we did, but it was from a coin flip, which seemed to just piss them off. So I mean, whatever. But basically, we could choose to talk to some people and make sure that we protect, I guess, the situation that we have against whatever bullshit they want to try to throw at us, right? Because I guess they're causing problems.
You gotta dance for them.
Yeah, we're gonna dance. The other option
I
is
like
to
to dance.
basically club a bunch of things in the middle of the night. That's what I got.
I
out of
feel
that.
like we can make loads of people happy with her. Like, have you seen her performance, guys?
I did. Have you?
They're not like I've seen them a couple of times walking through the streets, but like that's amazing.
She caught a coin in her boobs.
Did
Yeah.
she?
And 2 on her
I
blade.
just feel like I should clarify that you were not literally asked to dance. It
No.
feels like you guys are going,
But-
like, we should dance for these people.
We're
We
joking.
know.
I will
That's
dance
the
with
mission.
everyone.
Oh,
I'm being silly. Don't worry.
Because we
For a second, I was like, oh
where do we go? Where are these people that are supposed to be?
Well, if we decide
Doing
what one we're
things.
gonna do, we'll probably get the details. It's not like you're gonna set up a big classroom with a blackboard and go over everything from every single option, all right? Just pick an idea, diplomatic approach, fight some things with a stick. Yeah,
Stick.
stick
Yeah.
fighting. All right, it's easy enough.
Not much of a diplomat.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with that sort of thing, but
Know
I'm
the
also
meaning
great
of the
with a
word.
stick. Yeah.
I am good either way, so whatever you are more comfortable with.
I would say try diplomat, just because I've been beaten up too much today.
That's true.
Yeah. You've
I
had
don't-
a pretty rough
You guys want to try
day.
diplomat,
You
try
did
something a little
have
bit
a
different
rough
than getting
day.
beaten up?
Safer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if
I
it's safe,
feel
but
like
it's
say
different.
it's safer.
Oh, I don't even know what I would do. I don't know how I could
Stand there
help.
and look
You
pretty.
can just, yes, please. You could just stand there. You
I'm
look
pretty
so
smart. I'll
handsome.
think of something.
Yeah.
You're gonna be useful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or just there, which is also helpful.
Maybe
Or I
we'll
could be
use you
not
as
there.
a
That's
distraction.
That is also very. Nah,
No,
you're gonna be
you
there.
have to
You're
be
gonna be
there.
there. All right, I'm gonna look at the guards. I can. Do you want you guys help us, or do you got like servants that like specifically tend to?
So the guard kind of looks at you and just goes, yeah, what can I do for you?
Ah, great. So we need to see our rooms.
All right.
And also, do you guys need anything?
Poisons. Lots of poisons.
Right, he likes some poisons.
That is actually the purview of some of the people outside. I
That's
opened
what
this
I
door.
meant. Yeah, if you could do that part, it'd be great. Yeah,
Yes, she starts to kind of open the side door. You guys are kind of allowed out into the hallway. From there, she kind of points to where your rooms are. And pretty much there are some people who are standing out here waiting, like one for each of you to go and kind of get anything that you need. But other than that, these people can go and fetch stuff for you, and you have these rooms available to you.
Poisons, healing potions,
Yes, I would like a healing potion.
Awesome.
daggers.
Yeah, and I just go up to the one with me for me and just be like, "Can I have some healing potions and maybe a fluffy blanket?
A what?
A fluffy blanket. A fluffy blanket."
Get her off Lucky Diggy!
All right, fine.
Guy kind
Try to whisper to you.
he steps maybe 10 feet away and he asks someone like,
Aren't our blankets already fluffy?
it's like, get more, get a different one. So a whole scattering of people is just all going like, fluffy blanket. All right, and they kind of scatter about.
Excuse me. Call over my guy.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to get a healing potion as well. You think you could get me a human eye?
You would like a human eye?
Yeah, a used human eye. Like a...
It has to be used?
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing too fresh.
Did not
You
be
don't want-
used.
1 second. He turns around and goes, I'll get the blanket. I'll get the blanket. I can find a fluffy blanket. People are like, no, we're on it. We're on top of it. So he just kind of turns back to you and goes, no guarantees, but I can give it a shot.
Yeah, it's really gonna make or break everything. Also, if you could bring me some paper or a file on maybe some of the guys that we might have to talk to if we take a diplomatic approach. I forget their name, but whatever. I'll take whatever info you got on them.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'll go and talk to Gilderoy while you make yourself comfortable.
Perfect, yeah.
I'll have a bath ready for you and fresh clothes and everything, and I'll have the dossier for you.
Thanks. And the eye. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just realised I'm still absolutely covered in mud.
And blood.
And blood! Yeah, I haven't sorted any of that out.
blood.
Yeah,
your
I still look like a
person-
mud gremlin.
Your person is currently like looking through a storeroom, and they're like holding different things. They're like, "Is this fluffy? Oh yeah, it's really fluffy. That's a towel. It's a fluffy towel. And if towels is a blanket, she's tiny. Have you seen her? It's a blanket to her." And so there's this whole conversation. Long story short, they end up getting a fluffy something kind of blanket-like, and they bring that back to you, and then they'll provide the rest of the stuff that you need. Yeah,
That's
healing
good.
potion. That's common fare. It's so commonly desired that it is kind of portioned and rationed out between people, so you can't just have like a bandolier worth, but boom, 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 boom. Each of you guys gets a healing potion. If you're asking for poisons, some will be brought to you. They just have to kind of track them down and purchase them. You've requisitioned them anyway. A used, not overly fresh human eye is being searched about for.
Nice.
Zorelia, anything?
You're gonna test us. I'm
dagger.
gonna test them.
Nice. Yeah. So those guys will definitely go and find you a dagger.
Nice.
Excellent. And with that, do you guys retire to your rooms for the evening?
I would.
I'll go to my room, but while I'm in there, I'll take out my poisoner's kit and get that little jar I got from Riggery and see if I can concoct a little poison, or at least get started on a poison or something.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, I'm going to have you roll. It could be medicine.
Medicine?
Yes. And you have a poisoner's kit.
I do.
So even if you're not trained in medicine, you do add your proficiency bonus for using the right tools for the job.
If I am proficient.
If you are proficient in medicine, then yeah, I'll say you could double up.
You're inspired.
I inspired you a while ago.
Yeah, too long. 14.
14 is not bad. You actually managed to distill the most potent part of it. It ends up being a rather small amount, but you don't have any of the chunks, anything extraneous, other than it in its pure liquid form. So you've got one solid dose of a very potent, poison.
Yeah, I'll get the stats on that later.
Yep. Awesome. And other than Andavarius,
I will go to my room and write some poetry.
nice.
Aww.
Writing some poems, very good.
Yeah, take a bath and change my underwear.
Okay.
I brought it for a reason. I
Nice.
stay fresh and clean.
Cool.
I'm going to finally get all this mud off of me. And then once I have, just get into the fluffy blanket after a very long day and get my diary and just start drawing in it and writing what's happened today, especially with what Gilderoy used on me. I'm gonna learn that now because we are leveling up, aren't we, tonight?
That's correct.
Yes.
You guys have kind of
So
faced, even if it was only temporarily, and it might have been fake in the end, but there was a moment there where you guys actually stood up in the face of death and pretty serious pain directed either at yourselves or the people that you love. So I would say that
nice.
yeah, that brush has kind of brought you a little bit closer. It's kind of let you know what the stakes out there are kind of going to be like. So yeah, you guys spend the rest of these hours kind of in self-reflection, kind of in self-improvement, sorting yourselves out, having your requisitions met and answered. And the night comes. You guys all have a very well-deserved, lovely, comfortable sleep. Ain't that Ravnica for you? That's where we'll leave it.
Sweet. That was great.
Nice. There you go, guys. All right.
Yay,
level
episode
up
3.
and almost ready to go.
Yeah. See you guys next time in episode 4.
Where we going?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
What are you still doing here? We're closing up. You gotta get gone. I can resume again next time. I'll be on the lookout for you.
There is a place at the core of it all where the tails and the glasses are equally tall. The chances you've heard one he hasn't are slim. Welcome to Grimm's, I'm Grimm. Welcome to Grimm's, I'm him.